You're listening to PJ's Bayou Grind, brought to you by PJ's Coffee in Pueblo West. All right, and so we've got Renee and Joe Prutch in the studio again. Guys, how you doing?
We're great. How are you, Ben?
Good, Ben. Thank you.
Great. Thank you guys so much for coming in. So, we're talking a little bit more of business advice today. So, you guys, very established business owners here in the Pueblo community. Not only do you own Baskin-Robbins and PJ's, but you also own Prutch's Garage, and you've been making a big impact here in the community. For how long?
Oh, my goodness. We were figuring it out the other day. 32 years total,
32 years.
starting with Prutch's Garage Door.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Long time.
So you guys know a lot about what it is to be in business and what it is to be an entrepreneur and taking risks like that. So we did an episode where we talked about starting as an entrepreneur, what are the early advice, but now we want to talk about company culture. So, in the past we've done these podcasts, right? You can go see the one we did with Kiana from Baskin-Robbins, or the ones that we did from with everyone else that you guys have brought in. You can really tell that there's a lot of love between you guys and your employees and your families working with you. And there seems to be a great company culture at both PJ's and Baskin-Robbins. So I just want to kind of dive into that. What was that like establishing the culture? How do you do that? Let me in on that secret.
Yeah, I got to tell you, we are extremely blessed with all of our employees. And I know we're talking about PJ's and Baskin-Robbins, but I'm just going to talk quickly about Prutch's Garage Door. Yeah. We were doing some evaluations the other day with our employees, and our oldest has been with us 27 years. We had another one 25 years, another one 20 years, 18 years, and we're just going, wow, this is amazing. To have that longevity with all of them, it's just been fantastic. So even with our Baskin-Robbins and our PJs, we have kids that have started from day one. And, I think what we really try to do is to provide that, the respect inside of the store. You work hard, you're going to get recognized. We really accommodate schedules because I truly believe that they need to have that full roundness, so you're going to go to school, you're going to do volunteer work, you're going to be in sports, you're going to try to have a job. And I think that really shows the dedication that these employees have. And so what we do every week, they fill out an availability form. And then from that, we schedule them when they're available.
Gotcha. That's week to week.
That's week to week. Wow. And then the only thing we ask back from them is okay, when your sport is done and somebody else is in a sport, you need to pick up that time, and cover for other people.
Sure.
So we really try to establish that in there, and it works. And they do like that. They like that availability and how we work with them on their schedules.
Yeah. So was that something that came from trial and error, or was that something that you immediately came in and were this is the system?
I immediately came in with it. Yeah. Because if I wanted to have the staffs that I wanted, this is how I needed to do it.
Yeah.
To have them be on board on my team.
Yeah.
And it's great because they're very proud. They're proud of their jobs. They're proud of everything they accomplish. And then, when they go to graduate and they're starting their college scholarships and applications and stuff, they come to me to write a letter for them. And it's easy. It's so easy at that point to say, yeah, you know what, this is what they did for 3 years that they've been with me and everything. So, it just becomes that relationship. It becomes that partnership with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah. So do you apply that same kind of methodology to Prutch's Garage and maybe older people that are working as well? Talk to me about that.
I think it like Renee said that working with your employees and accommodating them to the best of the best that you can do. It goes a long ways, and our employees really appreciate that in all of our businesses. And I think that's why we're successful, and being able to do that, and our employees seem to gravitate to it, and it works good.
And I got to tell you, especially with our garage door employees, that's a different ballgame in itself. I mean, you're talking, they're married, they have kids, they have grandkids, they have mortgages, they have vehicles, all of this stuff. So we are supporting that family. We are supporting their income. And, you recognize that. You recognize the hard work that they're giving you, and they recognize the accommodations, the bonuses, the perks, the recognition, whatever we can do for them, it becomes that relationship back and forth, that partnership back and forth. And, we do look at that all the time. And I got to tell you, when we first started our garage door company, I decided to go back to college to get my finance degree because of that. So I was like, oh my goodness, we are supporting these families. It's different with Baskin-Robbins and PJs. They're living at home. They may have a car payment and paying for their gas, insurance, or whatever. But at the garage door company, again, you're talking, they're the ones that are providing for their homes and their mortgages and all that stuff. So it took me 10 years to get my finance degree, and I did it at the university here. Because again, trying to work and raise kids and try to go to college and all that stuff. But I felt that was really, really important, so we can maintain the success of all the businesses to support all these people that we have on payroll.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
It's continuously learning. As business owners, we're constantly learning how to adapt and for the continuation of our employees. And you got to be willing to want to learn, continue to learn what's going to work for your company and your employees.
Yeah. So maybe if there's a young entrepreneur that's listening to this and trying to set up a company culture and have a few employees, like, talk to me about, like, how do you balance friend versus boss in these situations? Because you have given them a lot of levity, right? You're giving them a lot of freedom there, and it's great. I love it, and that's a big part of your culture. But
that's a difficult thing.
Yeah, talk to me about it.
That is really a hard thing, and you really have to separate that. And that was one of the first things that for me, with having employees was the friendship. And I really, Renee, had to stress to me, friendship. You can be their friend, but you got to separate the two when it comes to work, and you really do. Being a professional, you have to separate the two, but it's a hard thing to do, but it's a necessity.
Yeah. So, to answer that question, you find your niche, you find your way of how you're going to do that. But I think it comes back to mutual respect.
Yeah.
And there are times where I have to bring them in my office and sit them down and give them the hard talk, to remind them and whatever. But when they leave that office, we're back to a good relationship. So, unfortunately, you do get some employees that don't give that back, understanding that. And so then if they don't want to be in our culture, they're going to have to move on, and I kind of moved off of this of talking about friendship and, separating business from friendship. But everybody has to understand this is a profession. This is our jobs. This is what we have to do. Unfortunately, we're the owners and we have to be the bad people at times. Sure. But you just, again, you earned that. You don't take it for granted just because you're the owner that you're entitled to that.
Yeah.
You earn it. You earn it through respect. You earn it through treating them just, their importance. And they are very important. Everybody is important. So, you just work hard for that.
Yeah. And you hear it from the employees that we have.
Yeah.
That with the culture that we do instill is that they never had that. Or my last boss or our bosses did not treat us like this. Or
yelled at us all the time or whatever. Yeah.
And they appreciate that. They really do appreciate that.
Culture. Doing these podcasts with you guys, we've had everybody in here, and you're right. They talk about what's been going on and how you guys are, and it harkens me back. Like I worked at a fast food spot for a little bit whenever I was in high school as well. Same kind of thing. It is night and day versus like what my experience was, right? It was just, and you can really tell from them, like, I would not say at the place that I worked, like I won't shout out the place, but like no one had a relationship with the like owners, right? That's just not what happened. Like it just wasn't the way it was. Like, so I think that's just honoring you guys, just what you've done there to build that.
Yeah, which is true because, a lot of places are like that. You don't even meet the owners or the franchisee or whatever it is. But I'm involved. I'm there. We have our meetings. We have them like every 3 months for all the stores. We'll bring in either breakfast, depending on when the meeting is, or we'll bring in pizza. We have Christmas parties with all of them and stuff. And so at those times, especially like a Christmas party, you're not talking business, but you're talking relationships.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, what's going on? What are you going to do for Christmas? What's your family traditions? So you get to know them and they get to know you. And so we work on that. We really do. But it is funny. All my new hires for the stores, they are very afraid of me. And so, and I always tell them, just breathe. It's okay. You're going to be all right. Everything's going to be okay. Just do your best and all this stuff. And, so again, I have to establish that with them. I have to establish them that my door is always open. You can come in and talk to me about anything. Please do. You're not ratting off the next person. All you're doing is making all of our jobs easier so we can address it and make them better at what they need to be better at. Yeah. So again, that's establishing that, that's creating that and constantly following through with that. So, you get new hires and right now we're hiring for all 3 stores. So if anybody needs a job, we are hiring right now. Right. Yeah. And it's funny because from day one, they're so scared. They're so timid. They're so quiet. And I love to see the growth. I love to see them mature and open up and get the confidence and all that stuff. And it's really awesome to see.
That's awesome. Yeah. So, you guys have had experience on both sides of this pendulum, right? You guys have been able to start your business, Prutch's Garage, which is a lot more of adults working for you. And it's a very professional at that point. And then also Baskin Robbins and PJ's, which is a lot of high schoolers, a lot of people that need first jobs, I would assume. So talk to me about what's the difference of creating your culture when it comes to people who are experienced, maybe working in the field they want to work in versus kids in high school that may not be there for super long or, are doing other things on the side. What's the difference there?
But,
that's a tough one. No, Joe looked at me like,
well, that is a tough one.
It is a tough one. And I got to tell you, because right now, again, like I was telling you, we are hiring for all 3 stores. And we're going to start with the garage store company, Prutch's Garage Store. It is very, very hard to find employees. And especially right now with the culture and COVID and unemployment and all this stuff. It's really hard. It's really, really hard. So we have a lot, we've been setting up interviews for the last 3 weeks.
Wow.
Out of those interviews, you get maybe 2 that show up out of 6. So that amazes me at that level. That, they fill out an application, we call them in for an interview, and then they don't even show up for the interview. That is just mind-boggling to me. And this, you're talking in the garage store industry.
Yeah.
And then you take the flip side of like Baskin Robbins and PJ's, it's rare that I don't have a no-show on interview. Yeah. Very, very rare. So because they're excited, they're eager, it's a first job. Oh my gosh, nobody would hire me, and we're giving him that opportunity.
Yeah.
So the mindsets are very different from the beginning when you're younger and you're trying to start out versus you have some experience working in industries. Unfortunately, I think they have the upper hand right now with wages and with demands and with what they want. And so it's making it very hard for us on the garage door side to find those positions.
Gotcha. Yeah, I see that. That makes sense. So, speaking to that, right? You guys started Baskin Robbins and PJ's like from scratch.
Yes.
You had no established, you had a couple people you pulled from Baskin Robbins to PJ's, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you're setting those up new.
Yes.
And those have unique company cultures compared to Prutch's Garage, right? They're different. So what is it like? How do you find the people that you want to invest in to be like, okay, you're going to help set my company culture? Because you guys can't be there 24/7.
Exactly. So I always tell all my kids, listen, you're being interviewed the moment you walk through that door. And sometimes they have to wait, a little bit before I'm ready for the interview or whatever.
Yeah.
If they're sitting there on their phone, instantly I'm like, oh, please put it away. Be ready, be present, focused on your interview. Then when they walk in my door, I look for that smile. I look for that personality. I look for that lightness. And you know, and I don't prejudge, but that's like one of my really big things that I love about, oh my God, they walked in with this beautiful smile.
Yeah.
And so throughout the whole interview, they had energy. They, you know, they may not know anything yet, but they tried to answer every question the best that they could.
Yeah.
They put the effort into it. Those are very key elements for me that I look for in the store, because then that tells me that when a guest walks in that store, they're going to have that smile. They're going to do the best that they can. They're going to enjoy their job.
Yeah.
Versus you do see the other ones that, you know, they came for the interview and that was about it.
Yeah.
They went
You know,
through the motions.
they went through the motions.
Going through the motions.
Yeah.
But, you know, Ben, when we opened up Baskin-Robbins for the first time, we probably had over 100 applicants.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, and
That's crazy.
PJ's was the same way.
Yes.
And that's a lot of applicants.
Yeah.
You know, to weed out and to go forth and just like you were asking us, how do you determine that person, that right person, or you hope?
Yeah.
And you're not always right. You're not always right, but like Renee said, you know, when you see that person waiting for that interview, and they're, like Renee said, on the phone, and not really being cognizant of what they're there for,
Yeah.
you can sense it. You can feel that,
Sure.
but we don't always get it right.
We try.
I feel like you guys do that a lot.
We
Yeah.
try hard, but you know, that's a lot of applications.
Yeah.
That
It
that
is.
is a lot of
Yeah.
applications. Yeah. So like for maybe a young business owner who's looking for maybe one person to add to their team, or because I'm sure you were in that spot, right? Whenever you were maybe didn't have 100 applicants and
Yeah.
you were
Yeah.
just trying to find the right fit for your team. Like, tell me, how do you find the traits that you're looking for in somebody? Like, how do you? Let me rephrase that. So if you're a young business owner, you feel like you need another person. How do you know what traits you need to help fill your company? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
No, I know
Yeah.
exactly what you're saying.
Okay.
You're going to look for your traits, the
Oh,
traits you have. And you want that person to have your similar traits
Yep.
and strengths and what else they can bring, you know? So again, we don't have all the strengths. We don't have all the answers. We don't have everything,
Yeah.
but you want to look for your traits that you have and what that company needs. And then what else are they going to bring to you? Oh, wow, they're really strong in this, and I need help in that. That's going to be great.
Yeah.
You know, so we're on the similar page to start with, and then what else can they bring? So you start with that first one.
So if you can clone ourselves,
Yeah, right?
you know, if
Exactly.
we can clone ourselves
Yeah.
into that person, that'd be a start.
Yeah, yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny you say that because, you know, we had Vita and Gillen here a while back.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I felt like they were clones of you guys.
Yes.
Honestly.
Oh, my God.
I'll just be honest. Like, I saw a lot of those
Yes.
similar traits.
Yep.
That's funny to say.
And speaking of them, again, we all had dinner last night. So Timmy, Crystal, the kids, Vita, Gilly, all of us were together last
Yeah.
night.
We watched the game.
We watched
Watched the game?
Yeah, the NCAA.
Great game.
It wasn't so great. We were rooting for the other team.
It was great for me because I picked Baylor, but otherwise,
Right.
not the most exciting game.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Awesome, guys. Well, anything else you want to say about company culture and its importance for young business owners?
Oh, you know, don't give up as a young business owner. You know, you're going to have a lot of trials and tribulations. You're going to question yourself a lot, saying, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? But that's part of the journey. That's part of the learning lesson.
Yeah.
And then find mentors, find people that can help you along the way. Don't be afraid, again, like to come talk to Joe and I, you know, even if it's not even a similar industry, but it's a business.
Yeah.
And we know the business backgrounds. And we have had a lot of people come to us and talk to us about business advice. But I would just, again, you know, have the confidence in yourself. And don't be afraid to ask for help, and don't be afraid to talk to people that, you know, have been through a lot of hard knocks in different areas.
Yeah.
And you get advice, and whatever advice you get, you take what you need and you grow off of that advice, and you just keep plugging away and working hard, and it's going to happen. It will.
I would add to that patience.
Yeah,
You know, as
a
a
lot of
young
patience.
owner,
True.
you got to have a lot of patience, and
You do.
and Just take your time at
You're
it.
not going to get rich overnight.
When's that night coming?
Yeah. When's that day and that night coming, right?
Where's that night?
Right?
Oh man, awesome guys, cool. Well, I think it's also fair to say if you want to experience the company culture that Joe and Renee have put together, go check out PJ's Coffee. Go sit in there, have some coffee, enjoy the atmosphere for an hour. Go check out Baskin Robbins. Go get some ice cream for you and the kids.
Please do.
How do we get connected with Baskin Robbins and PJ's here in Pueblo?
Well, the first location is at 2704 South Prairie Avenue on the south side of town. The second location is at 922 East Hailey Lane in Pueblo West. And in the same building is PJ's Coffee.
Gotcha.
So, you could get an ice cream, you could get a coffee. Yeah, whatever.
What better business research can you do to go research the company culture at these places and drink amazing coffee and eat ice cream? You're not going to beat that.
Right?
No.
Exactly.
At our establishment. And come meet our employees.
Yes.
See if it's working for us.
Yeah.
Come say hello to our employees, and we're hoping that they welcome everybody.
Oh, they do. Yeah. We're really proud of all of them.
Yeah. Awesome. Hey, thank you, Joe and Renee. You guys are awesome. All right. If you want more of this kind of business advice from these two who have done so much, go check out our last episode where we talked about getting it started. What does that jump look like? Go check that out, and then keep your eye out because we're going to be doing more of these in the future. These two know a lot about what they're talking about. So if you're a young business owner, keep your eye out because they've got more wisdom to impart on you. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great rest of your day.